All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of the Show Baseball Podcast presented by ProspectLive.com. I am your host, Andrew Parker, and today's episode, I am joined by Camden Lohman of the New York Mets. And if he does not ring a bell, he was their eighth round pick in the 2025 MLB Draft last summer. He is a St. Louis guy, just like myself. So we do kind of talk about, obviously what he's been up to since being drafted fresh out of high school by the Mets. And obviously, we talk about a little bit of his background there in St. Louis, and we just get to know him a little bit before he makes his pro debut in the FCL for the Mets here in a couple months. But before I do shoot to the interview, whether watching me on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is, please like and subscribe. Making a big push on the YouTube right now. It's a newer page, trying to get up to 600 subscribers there. So anything helps, and I greatly appreciate it. But without further ado, let me shoot you on the interview with Camden Lohman. All right, Camden. I want to get started. Obviously, you have not made your professional debut yet, but that is coming up very shortly, and you have now been in pro ball for a little under the year now, and that's where I want to sort of begin this interview. And I want to ask, how has everything been down at the complex and hanging out before you make the debut?
Yeah, it's been a really good time so far. It's been definitely a big change from like any other type of baseball I've played. Like it's kind of a new culture you have to kind of like learn and make sure you're doing everything right. But yeah, so far it's been really good. It's like last fall was big, just trying to put on some strength, some size, like add to that like physicality aspect, and like getting to know everyone. Like I actually like tore my meniscus like month after getting drafted, so that was kind of unfortunate, but it wasn't too long of a rehab time. It was only a month or two, and it was very interesting to like be around a lot of the guys in the rehab group that were like older and kind of learn from them and pick their brains and stuff. Like had a few big leaguers in there, and kind of learning like who are the guys you can kind of like ask questions to, and then try to like pick their brain, and just really learning about like how everyone kind of goes about their work. Like it's very different from like high school, because like it's your job. Like that's the only thing you have to worry about. So you have so much time to do stuff, and kind of just understanding the way you can go about everything and like maximize your days.
So I have to ask, obviously being like you had just mentioned, you're around a lot of big leaguers, around guys that have been around professional baseball, whether it's AAA, double A, whatever level it is. And what was the best piece of advice that you think you took from that experience?
I would say the best piece of advice that like I kind of like saw. Got to think about that for a second.
Put you on the spot early there.
Yeah, but I would say like just kind of seeing how those guys like react to how stuff goes. Like if they go out there and they have a really bad like live, or they throw bad in game, like there's like a lot of like maturity that you have to gain from like high school, and like how guys can just like put that stuff behind them and just get after the next day. And like it like really just like learning it's about like stacking the days, and learning that there's like failure is not bad. Like it's a place to learn and a place to grow, and kind of just seeing how they go about that, and how mature they are with it is very valuable to learn, and try to adopt very early in your career. Because like you can definitely fall into the rabbit hole sometimes, like, oh, I had a bad outing, like kind of thinking about it all the time. And like even like when you're not at the field, like you're thinking about it, it's kind of bringing you down a little bit. But like really just like separating baseball and your outside life, and just making sure you show up the next day and get after it.
I do feel like, when I'm talking to a lot of guys that, post draft, even college guys will say this, that, even guys that went to SEC schools and they don't make their debut right away. It's one of those things where it's like they learn the most about things not even on the field. Like they're not learning
Yeah.
about like pitch grips and all this stuff. They're more like, hey, like this, I see how this guy's training like off the field, or I see how this guy's recovering, and I see what this
Yeah.
guy's putting in his body. And did that side of things kind of surprise you a little bit? Obviously being you're a young guy. I think you're 19, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
19.
did that kind of surprise you a little bit? There's so much that goes into it off the field. It's not even anything really on the field.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of like what I said about like maximizing your days, and like they like the coaches will tell us like all the time. It's like especially as a pitcher, like hitters, you can go out there and you can make as many swings as you want. Like you're gonna get a little fatigued, but you can go out there and work on stuff all day. But like as a pitcher, like you got to like manage like workloads, and you're really only making most days you're making 25 throws, and you got to like maximize what you can do there. But then past that, like that's probably an hour of your day. So what are you going to do for the other 4 or 5 hours that you're at the field? And it's like all this stuff you're doing, arm care wise, and making sure that you can stay healthy on the field, because like availability is the best ability. Like especially around those like rehab guys, like they're making sure that they're going to like get back to throwing, but they want to stay healthy, and they're doing so much stuff like off the field, and like taking care of their body, and how they eat, and like you said, like the supplements that they're taking to make sure like in like understanding what they all do. And a big one too is like really being like diligent about your sleep. Like I feel like no one that's younger really like looks into that, but there's so many guys down here that'll like they're in bed asleep by 10 o'clock or like 9 o'clock, and it's like that's like it just all that stuff is you just have to like whenever you're playing at like the highest level of something, you have to make sure that you're like doing anything that you can to be better than your competition. Like you have to do all those little things perfectly.
Yeah, that sleep nugget, that is so true, because I just go back to when I was 19 at the University of Missouri. I don't think I was going to bed before midnight ever. So
Yeah.
you're right, though. It's all part of it, and it goes into being a professional athlete. So with you, obviously being, turning pro over the last summer, and that whole experience, was it the first time that you had really been away from home for a long period of time?
Yeah, it was like I went down to Mizzou where I was committed for like 2 weeks, just like for like the summer thing that like they wanted all the guys to go down there for, and like train and kind of like acclimate to like how it all works. And that was the first time I'd probably been away from home for more than a week, I'd say. And luckily I didn't struggle with like the homesick too much. And like obviously then I was still pretty close to home, but even when I initially like moved down to Florida after the draft, like it wasn't too bad for me, because like I think like I was very lucky to have a good draft class, and like really clicked with a lot of guys. And like literally every guy in my draft class that I got to know in draft camp and past that are like really good dudes that like I'm cool with all of them. And it just kind of felt like it became your family almost.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point too, because when you're away at Mizzou, and my mom used to tell me this all the time, because I grew up in the St. Louis area, and she was always like, yeah, you're at Mizzou, it's really like a 2 hour drive from where we lived, and she's like, you're away from home, but you're not, because you can come back real quickly. But that for yourself, that move down to Florida, it's like you can't just hop in the car and get back up in
Yeah.
a couple hours or an hour.
Yeah, that's a 2-day drive. You can't, yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so I guess like that's a great thing, and I that was actually leads me into my next question. And and it's the first time you meet probably most of the draft class. You might know a couple guys just from hearing about them on social media, or like maybe played against a couple, whatever it was. But it truly is the first time you're meeting some of your new teammates. And and you kind of said how close you guys were, like and I hear stories about guys going down to the hotel, and then they start doing things right away, like. What kind of things did you guys do to really like bring up the camaraderie, and I guess like get so close so fast?
I mean, I would say like the Mets actually like had like a good amount of like activities to kind of like get to know everyone. Like we would like go out and do stuff as a team, which definitely helped. But like I think it was really like my roommate, Peter, like moved in, like met him for the first time, like clicked really well, like really started to get close with him, and we just started to do everything together. And then we started hanging out with the other guys and just kind of like joining the mix and just meeting everyone. And then like the big thing is like whenever you start doing stuff with them off the field, like like at the field, the clubhouse or whatever, like you're gonna like interact with them just like you obviously would. But whenever you start going out and doing stuff outside of that, like going to the beach or playing golf with them or whatever, like that's when you really kind of get to know them and build a real friendship.
All right, you just mentioned golf. I'm teeing up a question for later, so just be prepared on that.
All right.
I did have another question I prepped you with off air a little bit, but obviously when draft time came around, you were a University of Missouri commit, and obviously you had a choice to make whenever you got drafted. It's like, do I turn pro or do I go to college? And I know that Mizzou probably means something to you, just being from the St. Louis area, being in the home state, being a true son, probably means something to guys like yourself. So. How hard was that decision? Like, was it? Were you close to either side? Like, I guess, what was that process like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably the toughest decision I've had to make so far in my life, which obviously doesn't really say a whole lot, but a lot of thought went into it. I think I valued like my family's opinion a lot. Like they were trying to figure out what was going to be the best for me. But like you said, like grew up a Mizzou fan, like really excited to go there. Was going to have a lot of friends that were going to go to Mizzou that I could still hang out and be close with. But like really, I think it boiled down to, for me, it was like I think I would have had a lot of fun at Mizzou. Like it would have been a really cool experience, and like creating that family there. And like from what I hear from my teammates, like going to college, you even build like a closer relationship with your teammates in college than you do pro ball. Like you're going through everything together. You're going through all the conditioning and stuff that you're just like getting through, and like that brings guys together like a lot. But I would say like for me, I was not going to be somebody that was going to value the college experience to like its fullest extent. Like I'm not like the most extroverted person, and I'm not sure I would have enjoyed like I would have definitely like found stuff to do that would have been fun. But like definitely a lot of guys would value the college experience a lot more than me. And two, like I kind of like really thought, I was like, my goal for as long as I can remember, since I was 3 years old, has always been to be a Major League Baseball player. And kind of talking to some guys, like some guys that have been there, done it before, like Brett Graves, like had that same situation even with Mizzou and that, and kind of hearing his side or what he thinks, what his experience was, because he elected to go to Mizzou out of high school, and then got drafted from there, and kind of hearing his experience and what he thought. And it was really just like, I think the best path for me to become a Major League Baseball player would be to go to get drafted and go to one of the teams, because they really value development so much more, and they have so many more resources. Because like at the end of the day, like college, like you get a lot of experience, and but like the development could be lacking a little bit compared to like pro ball. Like at the end of the day, like that coach, like what keeps his job and what feeds his family is like winning games. So are they going to value like you 4 years down the road as much as like if you're going to be effective, they're going to throw you now, and it might hinder some of your like development, versus like pro ball. Like it's like they obviously care, but it's not so much of like, we need you to be like as effective as you can be right now. Like it's more like who can you be in 3 years when you want you to debut, 4 years, however long it takes. And if that means throwing a pitch that you're working on, you don't have a lot of confidence in games, or if it means not throwing any innings in the fall and instead like getting in the weight room and building that like physicality that I need, like It's going to be like your development is in their best interest. So for me, that was kind of the decision. Is I thought the best path to being a big leaguer would be to go to the draft.
So I love that answer you just gave on so many different levels. One, like I do really love that you mentioned a guy like Brett Graves and picking his brain. Obviously he is a Mizzou guy back in my day, but he's obviously a well-respected person from the Missouri baseball program, and I do love that you pick somebody's brain like that that actually did the other way that you chose, and kind of like, hey, like how was this, like pros cons type thing like that, and I think you hit the nail on the head with the whole development aspect. And I'm sure you can see it right now with the Mets, where it's like, hey, like they're not just throwing you out there. I mean, they could have sent you out to an affiliate and just been like, all right, like we need you to go like have success, and it's you could either sink or swim type thing. Instead, they're like, hey, we know you want to be out there competing. We really know that, but we really want you to just keep fine tuning things. Work on these pitches. Work on anything you're working on, at the complex, wait till FCL, just be a little more patient because we think it's going to be best for you long term. And I think that's what's going on in your situation. I could be wrong, but that's what it seems like the Mets are doing with yourself. And with that being said, like, with you being down at the complex so long, like what kind of things are you like, what are you are you fine tuning things right now? I guess, what are the Mets have you doing?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I mentioned before, like all last fall, like the end of the summer after the draft in the fall was really just like building the strength, building like a good foundation to then work off of. And it's obviously still not done. I still have a lot of room to grow there, and the body that I have right now is not going to be the same one I have in 3-4 years. But like right now, like I'm workshopping a cutter, like starting to add that in. So like have like the fastball slider that I had in high school, like kind of fine tuning those. Like I was kind of getting around cutting the fastball, so working on getting that like back to being like a good ride four seam. And I'm kind of finding that, like found it in the last few weeks actually. So good there, like slider, kind of just making sure that it's kind of where we want it to be, like. And then adding in a cutter, like it's going to be very good for my arsenal, but just making sure I can have confidence with it, because it's just like any new pitch you pick up. It's like you can throw a few and they're going to be really good, but it's finding that ability to do it every time, and that's the struggle right now. But it's just something that takes time. You got to throw it every day and stack the days, and eventually it'll be there.
So you're allowed to gatekeep this. So you can tell me that you want to pass on answering this if you like. But fans are obviously enamored by velocity. I mean, velocity is king in baseball. It really is. And I believe I did see something maybe last summer that you may have topped out around 97-ish. I don't know if that's accurate or not. But
Yeah, I hit 97 in a pen before the season, like a pro day, and I was up to like 5 or 6 in most high school starts. But yeah.
okay. What are we? Do you have like? Are we? What are we expecting once we see you out in FCL? Do you have like where have you been hitting in these bullpens and lives?
Yeah, like so far this spring, like the top end velo hasn't increased a whole lot. Like I'm still getting up to 5 and 6, I think, my last start. But the biggest thing for me, and I think it comes from the added strength and weight that I've put on the past couple months. But like the velo floor has been up a little, like a considerable amount. Like high school, like I was getting up to 96, 95. But like definitely had like later in the game, I would be like show a couple 89s, 88s, just like any high schooler would. But yeah, right now, like the goal is to sit in that like 2 to 5 range. And I think I've shown that pretty well, and it's obviously going to keep on climbing throughout the season. So kind of trying to get there. And it's just like pitching's weird. Like I'm sure there's going to be one day I'll go out there and I'll feel really good and everything's moving really well down the mound, and I might hit a number, but I just don't know when that day is. So yeah, big focus right now for me is just trying to keep that like velo floor, like that range good.
I will say this: I do pay attention to the Missouri State playoffs with the high school, and I was paying attention to your, I guess, your first playoff start against Francis Howell, and I
Mhm.
know it didn't end well for your side of things, but obviously you pitched very well against one of the top teams in the country for high school baseball. Are you keeping that chip on the shoulder that you and Eli went up against each other, and that's kind of like taking into pro ball? Like, is that something you keep with you?
I mean, yeah, I mean, anything like that you can always use for motivation whenever you need it. But Eli's one of my good buddies, obviously at Mizzou right now. Train with him up at P3. Like he's having a really good season so far. Like
Yeah,
I'm
he
happy
is.
to see all that, and I'm hoping to see all those guys that played summer ball with and train with at P3, like all those high school guys. I hope to see him in pro ball someday, and I think they're on a good track. But yeah, I mean, my 3 years on varsity, I got first rounded by Francis Howell 3 years in a row. So
Hate
definitely,
seeing those colors, man.
yeah, definitely not too happy about that. And it's tough because Eli and Leo can always like hang that over me. But yeah, I mean, you can use it for motivation whenever you want. But yeah, I mean, I really hope well for all those guys, and I'm excited to see how they're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I love seeing Eli have the success he's having at Mizzou as a freshman, and it's awesome. It's awesome that you're also rooting for them as well because after getting first rounded by Francis Howell, I'd be like, I cannot stand these guys, but I like your mindset. So
Yeah, we were so close last year too. Like obviously that was out of the 3 year, and Francis Howell's always good. Like they just
always
they
good.
just produce talent, and I think like out of the 3 years, and I mean you had like Titus in one of the two of those
Titus was
years.
so
You
good.
had Norfleet. Like I could just go down the line of just crazy names. But like last year, they were a pretty legit team, and we were so close, 2-1. Like out of all the years, like the score got a little closer. And I wish I could have another year because I think we could do it. But yeah, I mean, it sucks that I'm always gonna have to remember that. But yeah, I mean, I hope well for all those guys.
Oh yeah, better days ahead too. That's not
For
where you
sure.
peak. That's not
Yeah, I
your
mean,
yeah.
in 5-10 years, I'm not going to be thinking about my high school days. Like
Yeah.
that's not the goal.
You won't even be thinking about it probably in a couple months because you're gonna have made your debut
Yeah,
down in the complex
I
league, and you're
mean,
gonna have
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I hadn't really thought about that in a while. You kind of just brought it back
sorry
up.
about that.
No, you're good. But yeah, I mean, it's really like all that stuff's in the past. Like I'm just working on becoming better every single day. So I'm different than I was now, and there's no point in going there and thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
guess if I'm trying to hit a deadlift PR, I could maybe bring that one back into the mind.
Yeah, I just had to ask because that was I mean, it really was an awesome pitching duel, and you don't get
Yeah,
to
it
see those
was
all the
that
time in
was
the first round.
that was a
So
really that was a really fun game.
yeah. All right, we'll move on. I was sorry to bring you down there, but
No, you're good.
um, so I have a couple questions left, and I'm going to let you slide here. But you did bring up, possibly being a golf guy earlier, and obviously we're fresh off of the best tournament of the year outside of the Ryder Cup. But um, what do you like to do in your free time? Like, are you big? Are you golfing all the time? Like, what do you use your free time?
Yeah, I mean, golf is something that I'm kind of getting into. I actually just got my ping order. Like they're sitting back on the couch, like put them in however long ago, and finally got here. So I finally have my own clubs. I've been having to use my roommates, but really excited to get into that because like back in high school, I didn't have any money to go play golf. So
No, yeah,
it's definitely not a budget friendly sport, but now that I have the ability, like it's a lot of fun. I mean, I feel like golf, especially, is like there is a lot to learn there because it's very similar to baseball and the amount of failure that you will endure playing it. And there's definitely a lot of things, like a lot of parallels that you can find there and bring into your sport. But yeah, other than that, like to go fishing. Haven't really been fishing as much as I would like to this spring, but fishing, like video games. I'm waiting for my Real 99 card in the show, and
There
then
it is.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go grind that out, and just go up to the pool. Like they have us in like a really nice apartment with a nice pool and clubhouse area, and just going up there with the guys, just hanging out on off days or whenever we're free.
Let's hope they don't do you dirty on the Real 99, because some of the guys in the lower levels are like,
Last
what
year
is
was
this?
Yeah, last year was like it was obviously like after the draft too, so you're already pretty late into the show, so like your card doesn't really stand out that much. But I'm excited
Yeah.
now because like it should stand out. But like I was kind of hoping they'd like I'm like last year I was like 2 to 4, like it's what I was in game, but like it's my Real 99 card. You can't make me throw 100, like.
Yeah. At
But
least give you the eights, 7 or 8s. Come on.
yeah, exactly. But I actually heard from a few of my teammates that just got theirs. Like my roommate actually, he said his card was pretty gross, like throwing 100, and
Nice.
his stuff was good. So yeah,
Okay. That's
I'm kind of
positive.
hopeful I'm kind of hopeful that they do the same for me.
Okay. Yeah. Some of the guys that I know down in lower levels, like low A and high A, they're just like, man, my card just, I hate getting me dirty. So
Yeah.
you never know. But all right, I got one question left for you here. And this one's because I'm personally curious about it. And since I grew up in the same area as you, I need to know, what is something, and you're not allowed to say family or friends for this answer, because that's a cop out. What is like one or two things you miss the most about St. Louis that you cannot get
Ooh.
down in Florida? And you can't say family or friends.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say the first one is emos.
I knew that was coming.
One of my good buddies has worked there since like sophomore year of high school, so he would always get us free pizza, and I definitely miss that, like St. Louis style pizza. Like it doesn't seem like anyone else is really fond of it, but like I
It's
mean,
yeah,
yeah. Whenever I go home, I got to make sure to get that. But other than that, I would say, I've been thinking about lately, like, I'm obviously in Florida, like, super, super nice place. It's where a lot of people from Missouri go down to vacation. Like, I love it here, but sometimes, like, sometimes I just kind of miss the boringness of like Missouri. Like, just driving down
okay,
70 to go to Lake of the Ozarks, like, just like, it's like I would have never thought I would say this, but like, sometimes you miss just driving by a bunch of cornfields. Like it
okay.
just it, and obviously it just feels like home. Like probably no one else would think the same thing. They just think like, "Wow, this is a really boring drive." But like, definitely like whenever I'm home, it's whenever you start to realize like you really like that. It just feels very homey, and like you can really appreciate all of that. So
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because I moved from, I was living on Hampton in downtown St. Louis for a while, and I moved to New England, and it was so different, because it's just not, like you said, it just
yeah,
might not be like boring, I guess. I don't know. Like that's not the right
yeah,
word, but yeah, I'm with you. And that drive
yeah,
down to like Table Rock and the Ozarks, going down to Branson or
yeah.
something, it's like you just can't replicate that, like down in Florida or
Mhm.
down in, yeah. I'm with you
Yeah,
on that. I appreciate
I
that.
I actually got another one too, and it's kind of a funny one, but like I'm a big like tornado and like severe weather like
Ooh,
enthusiast, and like obviously I don't like whenever they like mess up like towns or where people live. Like I just really like to appreciate and like follow. Like me and my other like really good buddy from high school are like big into like weather and stuff, and he's actually I think minoring in meteorology. But like I feel like I've been super out of the loop so far of like I used to like watch those live streams, just kind of see how everything was going and seeing all the crazy rain, hailstorms and stuff, and all that. So I feel like I've totally missed out. I know I still have some time, but I might have to tune into those because I used to really love doing that.
Gosh, that is something. I mean, obviously the
Yeah.
one that wrecked Forest Park, what was that like last year? Not good.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one
yeah. I
was
mean,
that one was
whenever,
bad, but
yeah, whenever it's hitting people's homes, like that's like I do not like that. But like if it's just out there in the middle of a field, like I
yeah,
think
give it
I
to
think
me.
they're pretty
Yeah.
sick. Like that's pretty cool.
It is cool. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of enjoy it. It's kind of like it keeps me on edge a little bit too. Like I'm watching and I'm like, oh gosh, like there's some rotation down there. Nobody lives down there. That's good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I'm with you. I like that. That was a good answer. 'Cause you don't get hurricane watch down there just not as often. So
Yeah,
um,
everyone was down here was like hyping up the hurricane season, like, oh, we got to watch out for all this stuff. And I was like, I mean, I probably didn't want to like go through a hurricane, but like a tropical storm. Like that sounds pretty interesting. Like that might be like a new interest past tornadoes, but I don't think anything hit Florida last year. Like there was that big
yeah.
one off the coast that didn't really do much. It was cool to look at from like videos and stuff, but no, everyone was talking about it and then nothing happened. So. Which
Nothing.
obviously is good because like a lot of those things can do a lot of damage. But no, I wouldn't mind seeing like a tropical storm or something minor just kind of know what it's like. Because I hear it's crazy to just have like 10 hours of just straight rain.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe this year we get a cool storm.
Yeah, not well. Nothing beats a like you said, a Midwest tornado. Good old watch on Channel
Yeah.
5 or Channel 4, whichever. I know that was a big debate which
Oh
one you
yeah.
go to, but
Listening
um,
to Steve Templeton and at 3 o'clock in the morning when you wake up to the tornado sirens, your parents tell you get you to get in the basement or whatever, and you got that down on the TV. Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah. It's my childhood, man. I'm glad we grew up the same. But all right, Camden, I appreciate all this. Obviously, I'm wishing you the best of luck when you are making your pro debut here once the FCL season starts up. But thank you again for doing this.
for sure. Of course. Thank you for having me on.